You should be good to go.
All right, everyone. I'm Darian McDaniel, co-founder of Problk Health Vitamins. We're a Black doctor-owned vitamin company that's all about promoting health in the Black community through wellness and education. And I want to talk a little bit about an endurance journey on basically a Black-owned business. We started in 2019, and it's been a struggle to make it this far. So I wanted to kind of talk about what I've learned. I do have a brief outline presentation that I can share with people here as well. And I'll do that, and I'll go over that brief outline, and then we'll go and talk about everything here. All right, like I said, I'm Darian McDaniel with Problk Health. We started Problk Health Vitamins in 2019. We've had a pretty rapid growth early on with the company, and it was very exciting. But then we had some challenges, and I thought it'd be a perfect time to talk to other entrepreneurs about those challenges and some of the things we were able to do to overcome them. The company started with me and my wife. We started because 92% of African Americans are vitamin and mineral deficient. My wife is actually a board certified surgeon, and I am in marketing. I was a marketing executive for about 20 years. And when we got married back in 2018, we said we were going to do something to give back to the community, but we didn't know exactly what that was. As well, we didn't know exactly what that was, but we had both been very successful, but honestly had never really given back. And it was something that we wanted to do something about. And well, my wife's dad is a pastor, so we didn't live together before we got married. But when we got married, she started having really tough weeks at work as a surgeon. And so she would come home real frustrated. And I'll say, well, babe, what's wrong? What's going on? And she said, Black people are just not doing the mental to take care of themselves. And it's disheartening. And they're using the emergency room as a doctor's visit. So this just really stood out to me that was just really weighing heavy on her. And like, man, health is everything. As we get older, we realize it, but it's so important throughout our lifespan. And then CDC had come to her office and said that 92% of African Americans are vitamin and mineral deficient, which is a serious, serious problem. And so we said, okay, well, let's start a vitamin brand that's targeting our community to kind of help with this along with education. So that's how I got started. So I'll go through some of these things here, these slides, just to kind of give you guys an overview. Okay, like I said, we founded in 2019. Pro Black Health was launched to promote wellness and education within the Black community, and we had rapid growth. A lot of brands like to start with one or two what you call hero products. And hero products are just like, what are those product we're going to use to get us where we need to go? And we started with a hero product, which was a multivitamin for men and women. But as soon as we found out that, there were so many other things that people needed, so we decided to make a complete vitamin brand as far as with everything, with over 24 different products, and also make sure they were Black doctor formulated. So we learned a lot about the industry, the vitamin industry, and how so many things are kind of like set products. A lot of products are not third-party tested, which is a real issue. And a lot of companies, a brand we find in the store, they use less ingredients that are not the best just to make price point. And so for us, it was just like, okay, how do we make the best vitamin and also have a good price? But explaining to our community that it's important to have a third-party tested product, because if you don't know what's in it, it doesn't matter. You never can buy a bad vitamin too cheaply. Also, we wanted to do community engagement. Okay, so what is that engagement? We wanted to educate the Black community on health, but we also wanted to give back. So we were we're donating up to 50% of our net profits back to nonprofits that focus on eradicating health disparities in the Black community. So it allows you to actually get healthy and also give back. And some of our key achievements since 2019, established the vision, which was very important. We talked about that story. Product launches. So we launched about 2 products a quarter starting off. And just recently, we launched a full line of chronic illness products, which include high blood pressure, diabetes and cholesterol support, which are things that are super important in our community. So we launched those as well. So really about expanding the brand and being a place where people can come, a one-stop shop. So we don't have to get products from here and there. They're good, they're formulated, they're Black doctor recommended. We could be a one-stop stop for everybody. Reach into new markets and new marketplaces. And that's pretty tough. I know you guys are aware with a lot of the stuff that happened with retailers, with the Black-owned businesses, with the Target and those things. When we first initially got started, which was around the Black Lives Matter and the pandemic, we had every retailer calling us. We had everybody like, oh, it's a great brand and everything. And we were so super excited. But in my mind, I was like, no, my grandma used to say, no one's gonna call you to give you something, they want something from you. That's just always stuck in my head. Like they're not calling you because it's gonna benefit you. And so we did take a little leap out in retail. And I won't name the retailer, but we learned very quickly that the retailers are in it for the retailers. Okay. And it was a real valuable lesson. We had to move a lot of money around to kind of get out of those contracts, but it was a good lesson. But that's what happened with a lot of brands. So as you guys launch brands, I know retail, we think that is super important and it's such a vanity matrix. Like, oh, I'm in Walmart and I'm in Target. It's kind of like in the Black community, you haven't really made it until you made it to those areas and to those retailers. But actually, it's a phrase that people say is that, retail is a place where brands go to die because a lot of brands die in retail. And doing that retail, we took our eyes off the prize as far as our own customers to our website because we did a lot of pandering to marketing plans for them, and they want us to drive, traffic to their stores, to their sites. So we like use all our time trying to appease them, but then they were taking most of the profits on top of that, because once you get into, they want 40% off the top. They also want you to spend into their marketing plans and those type of things, which can be very tricky. So I tell people to take it slow. And that's how we got here is by taking it slow. We're not trying to go too fast. And I know it's very it's a shiny thing to grow fast and get where you want to get in these retails, but that costs money. And then you have to leverage yourself in loans and stuff. I don't know if I said, but we're all self-funded, right? So we grow as the business grows, right? So we're not going to take on loans and too much stuff to leverage unless it really makes sense. But we also want to make sure that we have a level of profitability. So that comes over to overcoming those initial challenges, navigating teams and navigating budgets, um, which is very difficult to do because as a CEO, you think everybody loves the company like you, right? And that's just not what it is. You're so excited and you hype, but it's just a job for them and making sure you help them see the vision to get where you want to go and make sure that the people you align with see your vision and have the same vision that will really help. Let's see a little bit more. So market barriers. So I don't know if you guys know, but with vitamin and supplements, there's a lot of regulation. We have FDA approval, those type of things. We got organic vitamins, they need organic seals and those type of things. So we have to really make sure that we cover all those bases because it's an ingestible and you're dealing with people's bodies. So you want to make sure you have all the different regulations that you need. And that was a challenge we had to overcome at first, but we got that on the board. Brand recognition, being pro-Black health, meaning promoting health in the Black community. So we strategically targeted the Black community, right? So that's what the other competitors weren't really doing. And we made sure that that was our focus and that was our clear focus and clear in our mission, clear in our marketing to make sure we target them in the best ways possible. Um, and that's all our funnels and everything are set up like that. Industry changes. Um, you get a lot of competitors. Like one of our products is an apple cider vinegar gummy, which Goalie was one of the companies that kind of started that. So of course, it was always competitive, but they're always trying to either sue you for using their product or, they're always trying to either on the shelf as well when we were in stores, brands that saw us have traction, they put their product next to ours and lowered the price to move us out of the shelf, which was like, damn, it's a dog eat dog world. It's just like the same things you think that happen in the hood happen in the retailers. It's just like they was like posting up and dropping the price just to run us out of the store. So being able to adjust to that and also adjusting with having limited budget and being self-funded. So how do we continue to grow and to continue to be profitable? So what we have to do is we have to do in small batches in vitamins where we can't do tens and twenties of thousands of bottles, which actually end up being to our advantage because the longer vitamins sit, the more they lose their potency. So having smaller batches is something that we've enjoyed because they're always fresh. They're within a couple of months. A lot of times when you go to the store, those vitamins are already 2 years old, a year old, and then a lot of times they even change the expiration dates, and or they'll do certain kind of sales where you see BOGO and those type of things because they're buying in such bulk in order to get that price down. But then they're just sitting in the warehouse. And then a lot of times we do tablets and capsules, but we do gummies as well. And sometimes you'll go to the store, you see like all the gummies are stuck together and stuff like that. Those are usually older vitamins. So we had to kind of adapt to that. And it's one of the changes that we had to do, but it ended up going into our favor. So growth, we talked about expanding the product line to meet demand. We had a lot of customers who wanted something for chronic illness, for the diabetes and high blood pressure. And one of the things that kind of stopped us along the way is sometime in our community, we think that, oh, I just take this vitamin and that's it. It's a lifestyle. You got to take it. You got to change how you eat. You got to exercise. So how do we educate our community? Okay, this is a high blood pressure support. It's support, but you also have to support it with a good diet and running and those type of things. So we're new to that chronic space and still trying to find ways that we can educate them along the way to keep that journey. And we found with these vitamins, unfortunately, anything that's in a pill and tablet form, because it doesn't taste good, like the gummies, they sell out, people come back because they taste good and it's a treat. But sometimes the pills and the tablets, they miss days and those type of things. So how do we still keep them engaged? And we've really been working on that with some education and some education funnels. And also we're working on a newsletter that actually goes out to specific customers based on the products that they're taking. So new technology and manufacturing processes, that was something that we grew as well. How do we do these small batches and what machinery do we need to do those? And we learned that pretty fast and getting the best stuff in. And also efficiency with packing and picking and getting the product out and getting it out on time, making sure we have good delivery times. These are all things that we worked on to get to optimum levels because that's what customers expect now. When they buy something from Amazon, they expect good delivery and a good product. And so how can we be a premier in the marketplace and hold up to those expectations? So new geographical markets and demographics. And when I look at this, I talked a little bit about a brother earlier. We were talking about targeting Black men in our community, and that's kind of been our focus going on for the last few months. And it's just paid really good dividends. I'm super excited about it because the men really love the education around health and knowing that we target them specifically. And that has really been a good growth market for us. Also, sustainability. We changed our bottles to have less plastic, as well as our packing. Those are one of the things that we did change, to make sure we had 25% less of the 25% recyclable plastic in our bottles. So that was kind of like the presentation, just to kind of go through and to kind of talk about kind of where we're at. And then I'm going to come back on screen and kind of go through maybe a few stories that people may resonate with people, to kind of talk about business journey. So I'm back. Can you guys see me out there?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah. So thank you for giving that first part of the presentation. What I really want to talk about as just a CEO, the things that really stand out to me that's difficult, that my challenges were imposter syndrome. That was a big one. I had been very successful in my past career, but I was always successful as being a part of a wheel, like a corporate structure, to where I had a job, I was good at it. Even managed people, I was up to a VP position. But starting a company and having it all on yourself and self-motivate, and to know that you can make it, was a challenge for me. And it kind of, when I tell people starting a business is not about the business, about who you become in the journey of the business. And having a struggling childhood with, I had father issues and those type of things, a lot of things that black men, a lot of black people, I don't say just black men, but I think black fathers are super important to black men, but really not having that kind of support, um, kind of took me back to when I was a little boy and kind of overcoming those things. I call him little Darian. I kind of sit him down and talk to him, be like, you can do this. Coming from a background to where everything was no, or you can't do it, or that dream is stupid, and all those things that we hear in the community. And we have to like rewire ourselves to know that we can do anything. And I had to go through that rewiring to get where we are today, which really was almost a year struggle, to be honest with you. So I know that people suffer from that, but lean into it. And what I did was just kind of set the steps, because I'm analytical, just the steps of the thing that I need to do every day. And if I just get through this list today, I'm good. Instead of looking in the future, looking down the road, it's just like, if I can get through this list tomorrow, I'm good. And so that really helped me throughout it. Also, funding. Money's very tight and funding can be very tricky. I know we're hearing a lot in the news. I don't know when you see this about people who, in situations with loans and companies, and, have to restructure, and people trying to take over your company. Um, it's challenging because we want to grow super fast and we see so many opportunities, but there's nothing wrong with growing slow. And I'm so glad I did. I had so many opportunities to take, $1 million for a percentage of the company and this and this and that. And I felt like it would have been growth, but would it still be, it's kind of like serving a new master, so to speak. And we're going to still be able to give back, or we're still going to be able to do all those things that we're able to do with customers, or are we going to be held to, okay, we want our money, we got to do it this way. And then you kind of have these people over you, but also, watching your dollars along the way when you're responsible for it, so you just don't overspend. And sometimes we get this lump sum of money and we buy all these bells and whistles for the company. And that was challenging for me in a time where black businesses was booming. Like it was like everybody doing parties, everybody doing brunches, everybody like, how are they doing all these things? And and you need to get this big team and you need to do all these things. And I think you just need to make sure you have a profitable company. And I think we just lived in a time with all the tech investors and stuff where, but I think if you just get into, your profit and loss statement, Everything is right there. That what should lead you, not the social media, not what somebody else is doing. The profit and loss statement should tell you everything you need to know about your company and where you can go. So know your finances and don't look at the lane next to you. Just know in your lane, because we're learning that even though someone lanes looks good and they have it, everything, something can go happen. I think about Pinky Cole and her trying to restructure. You just never know what's happening in that situation. So just make sure your situation is good. So that's something else I had to learn about the funding and making sure that you got some kind of cash flow. Don't overspend on the advertising, to make sure you have a good advertising team as far as getting people who, if you do Facebook ads, you do those things, and making sure you're looking at it for a longevity. Um, let's see, other things that I could really say. Partnerships, as we talk about the race, and partnerships is something that I feel like Black-owned businesses can do better. I've been kind of frustrated in that space of, okay, we're going to do a partnership, but a lot of times it's all about how much that particular person is going to get out of it versus looking at the partnership as a totality to grow together. And I think we could do better at that within and I say our community, but the people that I've run across. And the race has been one of those partners to where we both have the same goal and the same mission, and it just works well together. We actually launched our brand. Our big event at the race was the first place that we were, and just the feedback was just amazing. But we continue with this partnership and it continues to grow, but it's a synergy because we're trying to get to the same place. And I just love that, and I wish everybody was like Tess with their company. And I see Thomas here talking about Black Men Run, and they work well together. So I'm excited about that. But how can we leverage together and making a commitment to do that? Because all these brands are doing it. Like if you see Gucci and all these brands, they're always collabing with somebody, right? There's always like a collaboration, and they got millions of dollars, but they know the leverage in that collaboration. And it's about how do we bring our audience together to make a common goal, and we're winning together, and what that formula looks like. Um, and so that's something that I wish that we do more. And I actually wanted to create a platform. I didn't have time that actually focuses on that, because I think when we look at Black businesses and business in general, I just look at Black business or small businesses, is that we're going to have to work together to get us to the next point, right? The ads are too expensive. Um, Social media is giving you what, 15% of your audience? Like, we don't have enough control, right? We have to like use this community and leverage to get more control of our community, because and then leverage those groups, especially we have the same thing, and that can work out well, and then we grow together. So I'm super excited about doing more of that. And then I want to talk about brand excellence. I'm a perfectionist, but don't let being a perfectionist stop you from where you need to go. I always say start. That's one of the things that's been so hard for me, because I want things to be perfect, but they're going to change. Things are going to change. Your logo is going to change. The company color is going to change. Things are going to change 1,000 times. It's about making the action steps to get going. And I think that's super important. And let's see what else I'm going to think about talking about. I feel like I talked about everything. We're a mission-based company. That's super exciting. We've given back to about 8 nonprofits so far, which we're super excited about. It's challenging being a mission-based company sometimes as far as the give back, because we have to give back based on our earnings. And what's happening now, because people have less money to spend, we're starting to have a lot more sales, which cuts into the revenue, which cuts into what we can give back. So we're kind of having that conversation now with our customers. I actually have been working on pricing and kind of bringing some of the pricing down a little bit because I know we're in a challenging time, but I still want people to be healthy, and we're kind of listening to our customers to know that we may not be able to give back as much, but um, listening to our customers, that's super important too. We have a group of people that we talk to of customers. We got like 10 customers that are on our committee, and we talk to them about what they think about the product, what they think about the pricing, all those things. So you have somebody on the outside that kind of looks at your company because it's your baby on things you can do better to grow your brand. And we've kind of heard like pricing is a thing. And it's hard because we can't price like goalie. We can't price like Ali because, you know, they use different kind of ingredients and then they buy in volume. And, I don't want to down any other company. I hate to do that, but you kind of get what you pay for, so to speak. And it's hard to say that. And that's what challenges in retail too, because we were higher in retail and the big brands can go lower and lower. And all most people see is I see 11.99, right? Or 10.99. And then it's like, oh, you guys are 19 bucks. It's like, but you're not comparing apples to apples. But to that person, it's just a pricing thing right there. And they really don't know. And so how do we educate our customers on our products are better? Because we don't want to use cheaper stuff because then we defeat the purpose and we're not getting them healthy. So it's like it's a fight. And so, but we want to be, understanding of our community and what that price goal and what that may be. So pricing is going to be something that fluctuate for as with your brand as well. It's going to go up and down. You got to kind of fit those needs that works best. And I think that the hardest thing within big brands is that they have so much money and they can outposition you. And that's the challenging us as when I say black owned business is a small business. When I think of black owned business, we need to kind of stay with our brands because these bigger brands can outposition us in pricing and stuff like that to where we can't do that. And so we need community to stick together with us to make us help us get where we need to go and help us give back and provide good products. So those are some of the things I learned. I know some people are on here. I don't know if you guys have any questions or anything you would like to ask or any other things you would like me to discuss. Anyone, any kind of questions?
I have a question to kick it off. Uh,
Okay.
First of all, thank you, Darian. This is a lot of great information. And I like that you talked about the challenges in a way that you shared about your takeaways and kind of what you do to get overcome those challenges. I was curious when you're
Hmm.
talking about the products and how you went from like 2 to 24. And like, how did you balance or navigate the number of the complexities of having several different products and balancing like which ones are selling versus not? Did you ever feel
Hmm.
like you had too many products? Like, is that always like a play? Like, is that something you always play with? Is it a balancing game? Like, how do you navigate that when you're coming up with products?
Yeah, it's a balancing game because we want to be a one-stop shop. We want to be a complete brand. We want you to be able to come and get something for your husband, for your kids, and for everybody. But of course, we have to manage inventory because everything doesn't sell at the same rate. So to give you, for instance, we have a 45-day supply. Most brands do 30-day. We did 45-day supply because we feel like that creates a habit. And with our subscription, we felt like it'll be easier on people to pay every 45 days than every 30 days. We just thought it would be more, and then we were able to get more vitamins in. And then the shipping cost. So shipping cost is one of the things is very expensive. But if we can ship them out every 45 days versus every 30 days, it cuts down on our shipping costs too. So okay, but within that, the turnaround time. So like I said, with gummies, people love gummies. We have maybe a 50-day turnaround. So they do 45 days, they come back in 50 days. But with tablets and capsules, it's a lot of times I would say around 60 days because they easily forget. It's not as much of a treat. And so that hurt us when I started. I bought too many pills and capsules because I take pills and capsules. I'm like, oh, this is the best of the best. And we got a product called Living My Best Life, which is like my vitamin. And it's one of the best vitamins on the market, but it's a big tablet. It's got like everything, like probiotic, greens, you got all your minerals, you got all your magnesium. It's like the bomb, but the pill is so big. And I just remember my wife saying, she's like, I don't know why you buying such and something. They're not gonna eat, they're not gonna use them big old pills. And in my mind, it's like the best thing for you, but I had a lot go to waste. I probably lost like 25 to $30,000 on overbuying that, because it's so much in it and it's more expensive too. And to get the price down, you have to buy in volume, if that makes sense, to get the volume down, to get the price right. So I had to learn about, okay, what do we order and, at what turnaround time, right? So the good thing with us is our warehouse and our manufacturer are all in the same building. Well, they're in the same two buildings. So once the product is done, we can get straight over to fulfillment. So that's been a lifesaver because a lot of times people have a 3PL and they have to send them over to the 3PL, and then that takes trucking time and time. So we're able to run a lot leaner because I could turn around and get it there, which really helps us create more product. But some products sell so slow that we can't put them on subscription, right? Because subscription is going to be something that someone's expecting. And I don't want to buy enough volume of it to make sure we have an order. I'd rather like sell out and then buy because we don't want to hold that much inventory because inventory is what? Money, right? Everything you have in the warehouse is cash flow, and cash flow is the choke point of a business, right? So it's just like that was very tough, and it's been tough doing the tariffs because you're trying to get ingredients from the best places, and it's been really tough. So it makes inconsistency. So we had to put more money into the company because now we got to hold more inventory because we don't know what Knucklehead gonna do. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like we have to kind of like figure out the best thing. So we have to hold so much more inventory now. But that's definitely always something that we're looking at. And it's products that we have that I want to discontinue, but we got so many few people who like them. I can't because they like them and they love the brand. So it's kind of a tough thing. Like we got a hair, skin, and nail tablets, which are really, really good. It's one of the best on the market, but of course it's a big pill again. And then they don't take them consistently. And then it just hurts to hold that inventory. And then we can't advertise to everything because even though, like I said, we still have a hero product, which is our King and Queen Essentials, which is our gummy, but that's our ad flow and that's our ad channel. And so even when launching these chronic wellness illness products, we had to do low volume, so we can't put them on subscription to kind of figure out what's going to be the buying pattern. So that's definitely something we have to keep up with.
Yeah, interesting. It's like it's a balancing act. It seems like.
Yeah, it's a balancing act. And then products have shelf life, right? So, you don't want to hold, I say past 6 months, the potency starts to go down. So, and that's super important. So when we say we're third party tested, so our products are tested every month for potency and accuracy levels, right? And so we want to keep that consistency and be able to offer that. And we don't want to diminish that because our whole goal is to make you healthy. And as we talk about mission-based business, it's like you don't want to cut corners, but that's how the other brands win. But people don't realize that. Like they cutting corners to get to $14.99, but you think you not winning. It's like you're not getting healthier. So what's the difference? Right? You could have just bought you some hot wings, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just kidding. So yeah, but just
You
the
have another
balancing
question
act of
too.
having good ingredients, making sure that they don't get old and keeping them fresh is always a concern. Like once they get past 6 months, I'm really concerned about moving the product because I care about the community, even though I could still push it out. But that's how I try to look at it because it'll hold for 12 to 15 months is what the expiration date usually is.
Cool. So you have a question in the chat, and then April has her hand up. So the question is from Alicia. I see you putting your glasses on. If you need my support, I'm happy to
See, I
do
can't read, I'm
it.
trying to look
I
cool,
got
but I can't see. How do you
you.
navigate? Okay, how do you navigate when larger companies adopt your distribution plan, et cetera? They gave. Well, that's a good question. That's a really good question. So if they match it, like you said, i.e., if they match what you're doing, and which, like we talked about, which is always going to be, to even talk about goalie, just for instance, like they were doing just the elderberry, not the elderberry, the ashwagandha and the apple cider vinegar. And we start getting in stores with the King Queen Essentials. Then they did daily multivitamins and then put Black women on the pages. Like we knew it was a direct thing, and they saw that inventory movement. And then the next thing you know, they got a daily multivitamin. And then they tried to give back to some Black organization. It was just a direct hit, and I think that that's where, building community comes in, and communication. I don't know if you're speaking, Alicia, like being in store or being whatever, but that's why it's so important to us to like grow with our community, grow on our own site so we can kind of navigate the things so we can educate them. So being able to educate your community, but in store, I think it's tough. But if you're able to, work with their community and they love you and they support you, I don't know if that answers your question, but there's nothing you can do because they're always going to try to knock you down. It's just like, how strong is your community? How strong is your customer base? And showing your customer base that they care. So every week, me and my wife call customers. We like, you pick 20 customers, I pick 20 customers, because we know that the big brands can't do that. Okay, how do we write a hand letter to a certain customer? Or how do we handle customer service in a glove and a white glove way that they can't? Same thing same thing with our meta ads. We personally answer all the actual comments and the ads, and the big brands don't really do that. And I think those things stand out.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
April.
Hey Darren, thank you so much for taking my question. I am Be Like Compression Socks. We met
Hey, what's up,
before.
homie?
Hey, homie. If you were starting over from day one with no team and limited resources, what would be the one thing you would focus on right away to build momentum and sales? Like considering all the stuff you've grown through and you're like, that was stupid. I would change like one thing that you like, this is one of the most important things.
Limited resources, making sure that I optimize if we're talking about online, I could do two things. We're talking about online to make sure I optimize my pages and optimize my site. I think so many people don't realize like the speed and all those things are like super important, and making sure you try to adopt what other brands are doing, your upsells, all those things and those different funnels, and making sure your funnels and stuff work well on your site and your whole customer journey. Like I work with my agency, and I think half the time I just yell about customer journey. I'm just like, okay, what are these touch points? How am I asking for a review? How am I reaching out to them? Customer journey would be the big thing as well, and how my site works and making sure I optimize my site to get the best out of it, and pick from the brands that are doing well. What I did wrong at first is I thought I knew everything. Right. And I think it's just I thought I knew. I'm like, oh, they're not gonna do that. I was like, that sounds so stupid. Like in my mind, I got it all figured out, but just modeling people who do it already and what have been successful. Um, because sometimes we own these brands and we think we know everything and we just kind of model on what's already doing well. And I think that's really good. And then community. The thing that we didn't do as much before when we started is community. Because me and my wife we're a little older and we're not big on social media and those things. And, I just needed to build community better. I focus so much on the business part versus building communities. I think about, we talk about Tommy with these run club, all these, this is like community, and community is everything. And so now we're trying to work with people that have community and see how we can network and stuff with their community, even though we've leaned into it to grow it, but community is very important. I don't know if that answered your question.
It does. Thank you. So let me just expand on community. So you mean like, say for examples, like the race, right? Going, or even would you say doing, hey, I'm gonna give you a free trial, going in and like, what else in community, what does that look like? Because sometimes I know for me, I'm like, it's only me and I got limited resources. So
Yeah,
to
yeah,
give away
yeah,
my
yeah.
product, but oftentimes that may be the answer.
I don't even know if it's like you said, give away your product. Do you have like a club that you can just kind of make, like compression sock club that you can make, and they pretty much interact through like email and text message and those type of stuff, or you know some kind of newsletter or something that you can put together around the brand?
Okay. Because I'm thinking boots on the ground. You know what I mean? Like I do like small pop-up events. Sometimes I'm like, I'm tired. I don't feel like taking all this stuff. It's just me. But I'm like, no, this is
Mm-hmm.
a part of going out, showing my face. This is part of community. Um, Last year I was like, I'm done with doing pop-up events. And then this year I was like, no,
Mm-hmm.
this is where I meet a lot of people.
And so when you meet people, what is your follow through? Like
Getting
when
them
you go to the
into
event, what is your goal, and what is your follow up
Yeah, getting like that
ideally?
the customer journey, that's huge. So getting their emails and making sure that they meet me and see my energy. And there people sometimes are like, oh, I don't want no socks. And then they come and they go, oh wow, this is be
Mm-hmm.
like. They like the energy. So getting them on that journey. But I know I fall off along the way. So thanks for saying that because I do gotta
Yeah,
fix.
so even if you have like you can do like a text club, right? So you can even do like you know, even if they buy or they sign up or you have a discount there, in order to get that discount, they got to scan and join the text club, right? And that's a good way to kind of grow people. Just have people join the text club. And I think, like you said, email or text club. I like the text club now because email open rates are kind of going down a little bit. But that text club, and I know it gets a little expensive, even with email, you know, taking them through a journey. I saw just recently, and I'll send this link to you if you send me your email, but it was a brand that does like it was some kind of magnets or something that people put on their feet or whatever to like drain energy or whatever. But it's like they making all this money, but they had a advertorial, right? So if you think about the compression socks, it's talking about all the things that you know in this advertorial. So you're not even selling on that first page, and you're talking about the pain points, what people see, the cause of this problem, almost becoming an expert in that page. And so when they get that, they feel like, man, I learned so much here. She must know what she's talking about. This is definitely where I need to be, all in one page. And they used Chat GPT or something to kind of build it all out. So it was pretty simple. So, but I'll send that to you if you send me your email. And I just put it in the chat. I just saw that today, but I think something like that, where you send them to that kind of page and it just talks about, and maybe even within that, a quiz too. I don't know everything about the compression socks, but I know my wife, she can't live without them. Like, she bought it for like this is her lifeblood. Like if she don't have no socks, so I mean I know it's serious business. And so how do you tap into that community, and how do you become the expert in that because it's definitely a problem. You have something that's a true problem solver, which most people don't have, you know? And I don't know how you do that in that journey, but becoming the expert with that, I think is really, really good.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, I need everybody to go buy $50 worth of vitamins at Problk. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Man, it's the time to wrap your whole set.
Yeah. Go check out Problk Health, Problk Health, and check us out. I'm gonna give a discount code, which me and Tess supposed to be working on, but I'm gonna say it's the race, and you'll get 20% off, and we'll work on that. But just that I recorded it, 20% off.
And Darian, where can people find you on social to connect with you?
So all our Pro-Black Health, you can just kind of tap Pro-Black Health into the social things. And then I'm D-Mac, the CEO on Instagram. That's where I talk a lot about the business. And what else? Our website, PROBLK Health, and then the PROBLK Health on all the social channels. We got pretty good following, so you should be able to find us on the channels and reach out. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer any questions and any way I can help.
And I just want to say thank you, Darian, for being supportive of the race and Black business ownership from the first time we ever met. I don't know if you got a chance to see the video for this year, but you were featured in our Take Ownership of the Race video.
Okay, I gotta check that out.
Yeah, I think Elise might have put it in one of the emails that went out.
Okay.
If you're there, at least if you can drop it in the chat for everybody to click on it.
Yeah.
Also, the last session in the series is the session I will lead on how to maximize your expo experience. So Darian, if you are available to be on that lunch and learn, I know you can help really give some good nuggets on how to maximize your experience at the Race Expo. So thank you so much, man.
Okay, that's September 2nd.
4th.
Right.
4th.
September 4th.
Yeah, it's the last one. It's on a Thursday at like lunchtime.
Okay, I'm just looking at this one that says September 4th. Okay, I'll email you and make sure I get available for that. We'll discuss that.
And which one? It was I know which one you're talking about. To Take Ownership full video. I found that link. I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Okay.
And
Well, thank you guys so much for having me on. It's good to come back to where I started, where we started, me and my wife, and that we continue going. And I really feel blessed in this time to really still be going and still able to support the community. I think we're going to have some more great growth, and whatever else is good too. What I love about our customers is we talked about customer community and customer journey, but it's really helped us get to like 72% customer retention, which is like amazing. And so how do we continue to grow that and grow that effectively? It's super important, but I think having a good product once they in is good. So like, even if you don't grow fast, because a lot of these customers been around for like 4 or 5 years, like they just been there and they tell their friends or something. If you can give good customer service and good product, that will win. Don't ever think about trying to, like, sometimes we want the fast money or to cut the corner, you just provide those good things and people will appreciate it. And then do what you say you're gonna do, and customer communication. So we're out of something or something happens, I make sure I communicate with the customers and make sure I send an email out to let them know this is what's going on, why it's going on. So people just want to be informed and show that you care. And if you do those things, people will continue to support you. And some are not, but the ones that are supposed to be there will stay there.
Excellent. You gave really, really good insight, and all your feedback was right on point. So thank you, Darian. I appreciate it so much.
Right, cool. Well, thank you guys. And I'll be talking to you guys, Thomas, and I'll send you the email. And thank you guys so much for the opportunity.
Wonderful.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right,
Before
brother.
everybody
All right.
breaks, just a
Mhm.
friendly reminder to tune back in next Tuesday. Actually, Marquise Boyce is on the line. He's going to be talking on the 26th at 5 o'clock. Buy back your time with Automate Your Hustle. And I know y'all talked about some sales funnels and customer journeys. I'm pretty sure he's going to tap in on that because that's what his business does. And then up next after that on September 2nd, from Invisible to Unmissable with Yatunde Jude at Yolani Hair. Another one of our partners who've been rocking with the race since day one. And then Tess, she already said she's going to close us out on 9/4/25, which is Beyonce's birthday. But she's going to be talking about endurance, the race, and how you can endure as a partner. So we will see you all. And I think that's a lunchtime one. So that'll be a lunch one on the 4th of September, but you'll get the reminders from me. Have a good day. We got you out within an hour with some meaty information. Talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, thank you guys. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.